the second leg of our back-to-back Skaction showdown. The Trinity University Tigers versus the Centenary College ladies. Certainly going to be a good one. Tigers looking to begin another win streak. They had a big win against St. Thomas yesterday, 83-39. Meanwhile, Centenary, last night they lost to Schreiner 103-53. So if the trends are any indicator, this is likely going to be a very good night for the Tigers. Back with the Tiger Network, I am Reed Rosales, joined by Caleb Reed. And Caleb, what is something that catches your eye in this matchup?
Well, obviously, of course, the big win yesterday. Trinity had been kind of in a little bit of a downward spiral after the injury to Natalie Anderson. Of course, Anderson not going to be playing again today, it looks like. She is down on the bench, of course, wearing the blue Together Tigers warm-up shirt. But with all that wrapping on her leg, it doesn't look like we will be seeing her during this game, of course. But, you know, Trinity came into 2024, you know, riding a winter break where they ended up losing 3 of 4 on the road. Got swept whenever they went up to Portland, and then split a 1-1 whenever they went to the tournament in Vegas. And after last night, it really feels like they finally got their mojo back. Whenever we talked, whenever I got to talk with Jamie Reedy last night after the game, she was talking about how, like, changing up the practices, it's really sort of changed the attitude and the mentality within this team. And it definitely seemed to have an effect last night. We'll see if it has another effect here, as Reedy's first shot goes over the top of the backboard, no good. And so we will get action started here from Calgard Gymnasium. Shot is up from outside, no good, short off the front of the rim by Tanija Plummer, sophomore out of Kinder, Louisiana. This is a very, very small Centenary ladies roster. Only 3 players on the bench. 9 players in total on the team roster. 1 player did not travel. That 1 player was, Yadneli Molina. And with Trinity taking the early lead here, Centenary will find themselves on the back foot already in a very difficult matchup.
And now the ladies trying to get some points on the board. That one won't go for Tanija Plummer. Maggie Robbins, the conductor of the offense, getting it into King. And foul will be called here. We'll see who they tag it to. And James Hill's voice rings out, hopefully. That one going to Layla Powell, sophomore out of Fort Worth, Texas. Jamie Reedy, quick 3. Can't get it. 3-0 lead still. And a travel going to be called. So ladies will get another opportunity to put points on the board. It's going to be certainly a monumentous task for this Centenary team to get a win over these Tigers, but if they do, it would be quite a big win indeed. They're 1-14 and have one of your 2 wins be against the Tigers. Well, that would be quite a momentous occasion, but right now, Maggie Robbins being very aggressive against Powell as she works it in. Then it's back out to the perimeter. Plummer looking around, keeping it herself, gets it to Barrow. Amaya Barrow with a nice pass. It's put up, and it goes in. A 3-2 game as Kira Stokes, 5'11" sophomore out of Shreveport, Louisiana, gets that one in. And a quick takeaway by the ladies. They may be able to get a lead, but instead, Josie Napoli with a nice takeaway. Bailey Timmons gets the ball punched away from her, and 2 ladies down on the floor. That is Madison Davis getting up a little slow. That little dangerous area that's brick outside the floor. Always have to be careful over there, but some great defense by Centenary.
Very physical early start here. One of the big things to note going into this game. Trinity will definitely be looking to win the rebound battle. They've been kind of at a deficit all season long as Robbins shoots it from the corner. Maggie Robbins doesn't get a lot of points, but when she does, she can make some fantastic plays like that. She's known more for her ball handling skills, her defensive abilities, and she kind of shows off, hey, I can score it too, but expect a very physical game down low from both of these teams. Trinity has been out-rebounded in the majority of games that they've played so far this season, operating at about a -7 rebound differential per game so far this year, and they have definitely kind of struggled with their work down low. However, they are going up against a ladies team, as that pass by Robbins intended for Timmons ends up going out of bounds. But Trinity is going against a ladies team that does not have a single player listed above 6 foot. Meanwhile, Trinity has 2 of them. Natalie Anderson, Natalie Greenwood. Of course, Anderson obviously out, but also Elaine King listed at 5'11" as well. Jalen Martin listed at 5'9". So Trinity definitely does have the players to be able to go up, fight for the ball, as Reedy from outside cannot get it to go. But Trinity will definitely be looking to focus on their play down low.
That one rattles out from the shot from Jamie Reedy, and now Centenary trying to cut the deficit that they find themselves in. Davis going in. Shot up from Stokes, and that will be 2 points for Centenary. 6-4, Tigers. And Maggie Robbins, the conductor of the offense, as per usual. The lone senior on the roster now. Gets it up to Napoli, now up to Reedy. Back to Napoli. Napoli will take an open 3 every day of the week, and she gets it like she usually does. 9-4. Tigers wanting to blister the nets. They have a tendency to do very well from the 3-point arc, and Centenary trying to drive it in the paint. Now back out to the arc. The shot does not fall for Tanija Plummer. Jamie Reedy and the Tigers going to the right side of the court. Robbins looks to her right, gives it up to Napoli. Napoli drives it in. Now back to Robbins. In the paint is Bailey Timmons. It's easy as that, and Tigers break double digits. It's 11-4, and we will have a stoppage play on the court.
Already a timeout here by Centenary head coach Paul Reed, assisted by Haley Washington and Kendra Jones, as we get a little look at the replays here from this first half. Again, still very early, but of course, so far, Trinity absolutely rolling. All the starters still on the court, of course, haven't had a stoppage for substitutions. But so far, the points leader, the Portland area sharpshooter, Josie Napoli, who has been electric from outside, not just this game, 2 for 2, of course. It's kind of hard to say that anybody's on a roll right now, but this season she has been one of the best outside players in a season where, of course, Trinity did end up losing a very, very historically good outside shooter in the form of Ashlyn Milton. Josie Napoli has really stepped up into Ashlyn's shoes and in some ways kind of created big shoes to fill of her own.
Centenary back on the court. Tigers re-enter as well. Head coach Cameron Hill looking to win the SCAC once again. They've been very consistent at doing so in the past couple of years. This time, however, winning the SCAC looking more of a necessity than a luxury than it has been in years previous. Centenary looking to put a blow on some momentum. Now working her way in was Plummer, but backs out. Josie Napoli with the harassment there. Back to Plummer, now down to Davis. Davis works to her right, continues shifting to her right, works her way in now in the paint, puts it up. That one doesn't go. Natalie Greenwood with the board. It's going to be very tough to go up against the 6'3" sophomore out of Roanoke, Texas. Coming back home after spending some time over in northern Arizona and St. Thomas, Minnesota. Came back to D3 hoops, so Kylie Minter on the floor. And now the pass into King to Greenwood. and that'll be a bucket and a free throw on the way. 13-4, as we'll see if that one actually counted or not. It doesn't look like it did, so it will be just some, nope, one shot, just
there we go.
Scoreboard taking a little bit to confirm that. And she makes the and one. The little two towers that Trinity has right now, they're going to play that height advantage as much as they can against a much smaller Centenary team. And a travel being called. So Tigers get the ball back with already a 10-point lead with about 4 minutes left to play in the first quarter.
Natalie Greenwood has been kind of a little bit quiet since she's sort of come in. Of course, we've already mentioned it multiple times, but just in case this is your first time coming on to the Trinity Tiger Network, Natalie Greenwood, a mid-season transfer, was not a member of this team until the team actually went to Vegas after Christmas, and she has slowly but surely been increasing her role on this team ever since she has joined. And in talking with Coach Hill, of course, a lot of people might say, like, oh, she came from a D1 school. Obviously, she's, supposed to be a lot better than she is. But as Minter is going to take that step-back shot from three, she will go to the line for three after being fouled. And actually, they're going to say it was on the floor, so she will not go to the line. But Coach Hill was saying, even though she does come from a D1 school, to not sort of put those D1 expectations on her, because as he said, the difference between a top 50 D3 school and a bottom, 50, bottom 25% D1 school is really not as much as other people may think. The differences between the two divisions aren't in terms of skill or student body size, but in terms of academics and financing. And so just because it is a lower division, so to speak, doesn't mean that it is a lower quality of play. And this is a Trinity team that has, of course, been great in D3 so far. And this team has really kind of accepted her, and it's been great to see how Greenwood has developed over the last couple of weeks and become a big player on this team.
Tigers trying to put more points on the board. It is 16-4. They're quadrupling up the ladies right now, and Greenwood thought about a three, but instead it's handed over to Napoli. Kicks it out to Minter. Minter having to back up with it. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Tigers have to work a bit quicker. Robbins, that one airmailed. It's going to be Centenary ball. Don't think the Tigers would have gotten a good shot off it anyways. There was only 1 second left on the shot clock, so instead, Ella Powell will be the one to have the inbound pass. Never mind. Sub, Mallory Dougherty coming in for Centenary. And Amelia Bagwell was also on the court right now for Centenary. And ladies working quickly, trying to drive in. Barrow with the ball in her hands after giving it to Bagwell. Now it's put up. That one doesn't fall, but still in the hands of Centenary, and jump ball will be Centenary ball. The three was from Tanija Plummer, didn't go, and then it ended up being tied up by Mallory Dougherty. So good job by Centenary. They get another chance with 20 seconds left on the shot clock.
A few substitutions as well for Trinity. Napoli, Robbins, and King went off. Martin, Maddie Muller, and Sky O'Rourke came in for the Tigers, as it will be Jalen Martin throwing this one in here for Trinity, who has gone on a 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes. They have really kind of imposed their will early on in this quarter. 13-2 run over the last 5 minutes. So a fantastic start to this day for the Trinity Tigers and head coach Cameron Hill.
Minter backs up, letting the play out in front of her. Thought about a three. Instead gives it to Greenwood. Greenwood in the paint, loses the ball. And Greenwood has had some turnover problems early on here at Trinity. And those woes continue. The short shot put up doesn't fall. Greenwood with the board. That shot was attempted by Amelia Bagwell, just doesn't go. Maddie Moeller will draw the foul, and a Centenary team that is really looking for any forward momentum right now, having only won one game. That was against Hendricks. It was a sizable win against Hendricks, but really wanting to get a nice win here, because any momentum at this point for them would be positive momentum, as we see Muller at the charity stripe.
Winless in their last 10 games is obviously a very, very tough pill to swallow, but they can take some solace in that this is a very, very young team. Only one senior. That senior, of course, being Amelia Bagwell, who is on the court at the moment, but only sophomores and freshmen beyond that. So this is a very, very young team, a very good team for head coach Paul Reed to develop and kind of shape over the next couple of years as these players kind of grow into themselves a little bit.
Centenary forces the issue there and is able to draw the foul. 12-0 run for the Tigers right now. Centenary looking to quench a 4-minute, 13-second scoring drought. At 4 turnovers in the last 6 minutes. It has been a rough start, to say the least, for Centenary. Free throw does go, so quench the scoring drought right there. Thanks to Madison Davis. Once again, the sophomore out of Shreveport, local to the area, as Centenary is up in Shreveport, Louisiana. The one of 2 schools not in Texas in the SCAC. The other one, of course, being Colorado College, who, well, I hope you could guess where they're from. And now Minter trying to drive it in the paint, puts it up, and that one won't go, but she does draw the foul, so a trip to the charity stripe will be awarded to her there. And the Tigers may start making some bank at the charity stripe, because they've been sent there quite a few times here in the first quarter. If they keep forcing these issues, Centenary may have to take a new approach to their defense. But much like the men's team, they're a team that forces teams to potentially foul them and send their good players to the line. Minter scores a point right there.
Minter so far in her career shooting above 80% from the free throw line. She is one of the most accurate free throw shooters on this team. As you can see right there, she manages to sink both of them. Very calm, very collected is the League City, Texas native. League City, a tiny school, or a small little town about midway between Houston and Galveston. So not quite a return to her home area, but definitely not far away, or definitely not far away. Of course, a sophomore transferring in this year, spending her first year with the Tigers and having a pretty good impact, as that one's just a little bit too high for her, passed by Jalen Martin. But she has definitely had a great impact off of the bench, as have a lot of players on this team kind of understanding their roles.
Sky O'Rourke trying to get the ball away from Powell, an ambush of Tigers awaiting every single Centenary player, but now a bit of an opening shot from within the arc, does not fall, is not the correct accuracy there, and they're going to give it to Centenary. Get Natalie Greenwood to touch the ball last, so another attempt. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. It's going to be a tough ask, but you see the little bunch-up formation on the charity stripe. We'll watch them spread out as soon as the whistle gets blown. They get it over to Barrow. Barrow driving it in. Doesn't fall. Who gets the rebound? And they're going to give it to Centenary again. Sky O'Rourke being the last one to touch that one. So Centenary, another opportunity. We'll see how they use it. Minute left here in the first quarter. Powell trying to find Centenary player. Able to get it to Stokes. Stokes takes it herself, and she puts it in. So 20-8. Tigers will head back down the court. Minute left on the clock.
Looking at the players currently on the court for Trinity, of course, none of them are the starters, but I would just like to take a couple of seconds here to highlight Maddie Muller, kind of a little celebrated player on this team for everything that she does. Of course, mainly a bench rotational player. But last night, she was absolutely incredible. Just kind of looking over the notes from that big win over St. Thomas. Of course, 83-39 was the final on that one. But Maddie actually ended up getting double-digit points, 4 of 5 shooting. She's definitely developing very, very well and very quietly as well, kind of letting other players like Josie, like Jamie, of course, Natalie Anderson, whenever she's healthy, kind of take the majority of the spotlight. Of course, Maggie Robbins as well. But these bench rotational players are not bad by any means at all. And of course, everybody can go off. Everybody can have a good day. But Maddie Moeller definitely had a pretty good day last night for sure.
O'Rourke out to Moeller. Moeller looking the way to her left. Now gives it up to Minter. Minter trying to get it into Jalen Martin. Run over to O'Rourke. Fancy passes by the Tigers. Ends up with a bucket on the board. 23-8. No shot clock. We'll see if Centenary can get the final shot of the first quarter, because sometimes the Tigers have a tendency to take it away. But right now they're doing a good job playing keep away right now. Get it to Stokes. Stokes puts it up, does not put it in. 7 seconds left on the clock. Sky O'Rourke and the Tigers will have to work quickly. 3 seconds now. Sky O'Rourke fumbles the ball a little bit, and no whistle was given, even though I thought it was pretty clearly touching the out-of-bounds line. But either way, it's going to be the end of the first quarter. So, Tigers up 23-8. Certainly a very good shooting day for the Tigers right now. 46% overall, 42 from 3. And for Centenary, 17% overall is really the one stat you need to look at to figure out how this game has been going in the first quarter.
Centenary has really struggled with shooting, and Centenary really kind of struggles overall whenever they face this Trinity team. I'm just kind of looking over the pregame notes that we get here from our wonderful sports information department who kind of help us with finding stats. Trinity has never lost a game to Centenary. They lead the all-time series record 21-0, 10-0 here in San Antonio, and 11-0 in Shreveport. Kind of the exact opposite of the men's team who we were talking about with their big win over Centenary. But the men's team, of course, Coach Jimmy Smith having never won in Shreveport. Meanwhile, Coach Hill and these Tigers having never lost against the Centenary. So it is definitely a very interesting dynamic between these two teams, and definitely going to be hoping to make it 22-0 as we go into the second quarter, as well as into the second half and for the rest of this game.
Napoli will be the one to inbound it over to Maggie Robbins to start the second quarter. This program won a national championship back in 2003. They're always trying to seek another one. You never know how far they may go. Elite 8 2 years ago, Sweet 16 last year. And now Jamie Reedy and other youth on this Tiger squad wanting to push even further in. Napoli from 3, she gets it. So 26-8. Now the Tigers really starting to roll. Centenary really needing to mount some offense, being kept to single digits in that first quarter.
Josie Napoli, the fiery outside guard. She is such a dangerous weapon outside. We saw it a lot last year, of course, being used in conjunction with Ashlyn Milton. A lot of 3 outside threats there. That's a very dangerous pass by Robbins into Elaine King, but Josie Napoli has really developed into one of the three-point shooters, I would argue the three-point shooter. So that is a fantastic physical down-low play by Elaine King, but of course now with the introduction of Jamie Reedy, the fantastic freshman from outside, it is a dual-headed monster from outside the line. And then you look at all the players down low that Trinity has as well. This is a very hard Trinity team to game plan against.
Centenary down by 20. Quick 3 is put up and put in. Good job by Madison Davis, sinking the first 3 of the night for the ladies. 28-11, down by 20 no longer. So Centenary breaks double digits. Tigers Now looking for a response of some sort. Elaine King passes it over to Jamie Reedy. They leave her too open, and she scores. You can't leave her open. She's proven that time and time and time again. Tigers up by 20 yet again.
Jamie Reedy led the scoring last night with 16 points, and she hits another 3 right there. That's a nice little layup and in there for the ladies by Kyra Stokes, sophomore out of Shreveport, Louisiana. But again, I was just talking about her. Jamie Reedy, Josie Napoli, a very dangerous outside combo, and whenever they are both on the court, it is very difficult to game plan against them both. Reedy puts it up, gets her own rebound, and puts it back up and in. As we're going to get a whistle here, I believe, for a Centenary timeout.
33-13, 7:45 left to play in the second quarter. Tigers blistering the nets is a bit of an understatement right now. 55% from the field, 11 for 20, 5 for 9 from deep. And, you know, it's looking like another one of those games, looking very similar to that St. Thomas game yesterday. And Trinity, I've seen them do some really brutal things on the offensive side of the ball. Very clearly remember Brian Jenselson one time last year calling blackjack after they scored 21 straight points to start a game. This is an offense that is dangerous year in and year out. Everybody in the SCAC knows it. Nearly everybody in Division III hoops knows it. And while they are not ranked right now, nobody will underestimate this team if they make it to the NCAA tournament. They would be quite the tough draw to see in your regional pod.
Coach Hill was talking about the kind of shoot-or-shoot mentality that this team has, and the thing that he said that stuck out to me the most was we wouldn't have that mentality if we didn't have players who couldn't shoot. We don't just throw up shots just for fun. We throw up shots because we know our players can hit those shots. And this Trinity team, year in, year out, has proven that they are one of the highest scoring teams in Division III for a reason, as that will be a travel there on Layla Powell. But this is a very, very dangerous team to go up against, no matter if you have the number 1 defense, the number 15 defense, or the number 150th defense. This is a team that can and will do their best to carve you up game in and game out.
Elaine King over to Timmons. Timmons from the elbow. That one is air packaged there. So Centenary gets an opportunity to cut the lead below 20 yet again. And we'll have a substitution here. Mallory Duggarty coming in for Powell. So 5 in for 1. Now Amaya Barrow trying to work against the press of the Tigers. Full court press in effect yet again. Driving it in, puts it up, and puts it in. And number 4, Tanija Plummer, sophomore out of Kinder, Louisiana. As only 2 of the players on the roster aren't from the great state of Louisiana. Maggie Robbins kicks it out. Jamie Reedy, open 3, does not get it, however, so lucky break for the ladies. And they finally get the ball into the hands of another player. And this is something we see time and time again as well, is it is hard to get it out of your own half of the court when you play against Trinity. 15 seconds left on the clock. 3 is taken, and 3 is good. Snuck over the rim. Great 3 there by Madison Davis. So Trinity now looking for a response because Centenary has gone on a run of their own. They're 4 for their last 4. Josie Napoli works it in. Hook pass over to Elaine King, and King gets denied. Paris Stokes able to win the joust there, and now Centenary working fast. It's put up, and the foul is drawn. So Amaya Barrow will head to the line, and some momentum perhaps for Centenary.
We talk so much about how dangerous Josie Napoli is from the outside, from shooting, how well she can score the ball, but she's much more than that. Of course, Napoli is also a pretty big assist weapon as well, averaging just over 4 assists per game, actually leading the team in that regard this season. And that no-look pass right there down to Elaine King is one of the reasons why she's been so dangerous in the passing game here in the 23-24 season.
Tigers still up by 13. Certainly a nice lead, but they want to extend it further. 6-0 run, now a 7-0 run for Centenary. 4 for their last 4 with a free throw to boot. Ivory Scott on the court now for Trinity. Maggie Robbins able to hand it off over to Josie Napoli. Napoli back to Robbins. Robbins trying to spin to win. Instead gives it up to Reedy. Reedy drives it in. She puts it up, and another good bucket from Jamie Reedy. We expect so much from the freshman because she is just so good. Multiple great threes from her, and she was a star for high school, coach's kid. And right now, Centenary having to deal with her. 3 is taken, and Jamie Reedy right there to catch it. So now passed up over to Ivory Scott within the arc, fumbles it a little bit. Scott having some trouble, gets it over to King. Now Reedy with the ball in her hands. Whenever Robbins doesn't conduct the offense, Reedy is usually the one they defer to. Napoli takes it in herself, and it rolls out. Tough roll there, and we're going to get a foul there on Elaine King.
King was kind of stumbling there, trying to regain her balance, but the momentum ended up pushing her into the ladies' player, and you know, that's kind of a foul that you're kind of going to be okay with, of course. That will be her first foul of the game. Only 3 fouls by the Trinity Tigers so far during this game. 6 fouls have been committed by Centenary as that ball goes up. And looks like they're going to get King for another one here. Kind of a little bit surprised on that one, but 6 personal fouls by the ladies so far here this evening. And now 4 by Trinity, 2 of them being committed by Elaine King. So not entirely sure if Coach Hill will be looking to take her out. Not seeing any movement down there on the bench. So it does not look like she will be getting taken off with 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go here in this first half.
That free throw doesn't go. 35-21. Looking like a certain wild card game today that happened, but Napoli handing it back to Robbins. Robbins with a great pass to Scott, but a bit too much contention there. But it does end up drawing the foul. So a win situation there. That will be Centenary's first personal foul of the second quarter.
Looking at some of the stats from around the conference, of course, it is a 3-way dogfight for the top spot in the SCAC. Texas Lutheran and Colorado College did not play today. In fact, TLU does not play this weekend. Colorado College played a game last night, and they will play another one tomorrow. That game tips off at 3. They won their last game, a 58-43 final against Austin College, but overall it is definitely a very, very tight contest for the top of the SCAC as Reedy almost got another big 3 there. Could not get it to fall, and it is rebounded by Tanija Plummer.
Now, ladies going up the arc. Davis drives it in. Ball is lost. Tiger ball. Still up by double digits. Whistle coming out. Ivory Scott will be the one to inbound it after we mop up the floor a little bit.
A couple of substitutions here. Reedy and King coming off. Looks like Sky O'Rourke and Kylie Minter have come on to replace them. So on the floor is Robbins, Scott, Napoli, O'Rourke, and Minter. Your 5 for the Tigers.
Minter stepping back. Hands it over to Napoli. Napoli looking to drive it in. Gets it to Minter. Minter over to Robbins. Thought about a 3. Doesn't take it. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Robbins will do it herself. And one of the captains on the court is certainly Maggie Robbins. She gets the bucket, 37-23. She's the conductor for a reason, and that's why she just knows so much about basketball. such a great basketball IQ to read defenses and to drive it in and get an easy bucket like that.
The senior out of Plano, Texas, one of the best ball IQ players that I think that we have seen here on the Trinity team in quite a long time. Whenever we talk to other players, whenever we talk to the coaching staff, there is nothing but compliments for Maggie Robbins. She is just such an incredible force for this team and a big reason for their success over the last few years. Of course, have been able to go to the NCAA tournament over the last couple of years. Of course, multiple SCIC championships in a row now, and all of them have been kind of overseen by Maggie Robbins, and she is going to leave a really, really large 5'3" hole in this team whenever she graduates at the end of the year.
37-23. Amelia Bagwell's first free throw doesn't go. We'll see if she cuts the lead. She does. 37-24. Of course, Napoli will inbound it to Minter. Tigers make their way down the court. As on to the court comes Kyra Stokes, another sophomore from Shreveport, Louisiana, another local to the area. Now Maggie Robbins with the ball in her hands, hands it over to Napoli. Napoli trying to work her way in, backs out. Nice pass from Napoli to Sky O'Rourke, who puts it in for the easy lay. But that is all thanks to the great pass from Josie Napoli. She'll definitely have an assist to be proud of there. Now, ladies working it down, trying to put up some points. And the drive in from the elbow, that will be good. Kissed it off the glass, did Mallory Duggarty. So 39-26 as both of these teams trading points. Centenary not letting the lead grow. Still in much a position to come back and either tie or take the lead to be certain. Kylie Minter and the Tigers, however, certainly don't want that to happen. Sky O'Rourke thinks about going in, passes it over to Robbins. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to get the pass to Minter. It's going to be Centenary ball as Minter running into a couple of Centenary players there.
Pass got rifled in there to Minter. Minter's going to have to kind of shake her hands off after that one. Earlier on during the men's game, you mentioned that there was one pass that looked like an 80-mile-an-hour fastball. That one looked like it was going not as fast, maybe about 75, but still quite a rapid pass that definitely stung a little bit off the hands of Minter.
Another whistle blown. More free throws for Centenary. They have had several trips to the charity stripe in this second quarter, and of course, they are in the bonus, so any foul is going to send them there. This time, we are going to see Layla Powell try to put up some free throws. Centenary trying to go into the half, not trailing by too much, because of course this Tigers team at any moment could explode and score 100. We saw it against Dallas, and Centenary trying not to match that performance that the crew put up that day, to be sure. 39-27, the free throw goes up, and it goes in, so just an 11-point lead now is much better than it was before, because the Tigers' lead was as large as 20. Maggie Robbins, the conductor that she is, will see if she can orchestrate another bucket. Where does Robbins go? Backs away. Powell trying to be aggressive with her. Robbins tangoing with Powell, and that one will be a foul drawn, so Maggie Robbins will head to the line.
Layla Powell, one of the more experienced players on this team, which is kind of a little bit funny to say considering that she's only a sophomore, but only one senior on this team. 5 sophomores as well and 3 freshmen. One of those freshmen, Yadnelli Molina, did not travel with the team. So Centenary already struggling from a lack of depth as is with their fairly small roster, but of course losing one more player can never help that regard at all. Robbins sinks her first free throw to give her 8th point of the game, looking for her 9th and break into double digits. Last night she had a pretty good affair as well. Only 6 points, but was very active. 7 rebounds, 8 assists. So overall a pretty good day.
Centenary down 41-28. 25 seconds on the shot clock, about a minute left on the game clock. And Dougherty getting it over to Plummer. Denijah Plummer. They work it down the arc. Powell with the ball in her hands. Back to Dougherty. Dougherty to her right. Almost loses the ball. Minter tries to get a takeaway there, but instead it's back in the hands of Powell. Quick shot doesn't go, but it'll be an offensive board for Centenary, so they get another opportunity. Powell thought about a three, and it gets punched away by Robbins, but whistle gets blown, and they're going to tag it to Robbins there.
That is going to be Maggie's second foul of the game. Maggie, of course, being very active on defense, does kind of pick up fouls here and there. Of course, obviously, you want to avoid it as much as possible, but, you know, it is very difficult to avoid one of the most, I was going to say most penalized, but that's more of a football term, but one of the players with the most fouls on this team, 35 personal fouls so far during this season, and definitely going to be hoping to try and trim back on that a little bit over the course of the season, because anytime that Maggie Robbins has to go to the bench, it is a lot more difficult of a time for this Trinity roster.
Minter hands it over to Napoli. Josie Napoli in the arc, kicks it out to Sky O'Rourke. O'Rourke loves to go in the paint, and that one just won't go. Bit of a bad bounce for O'Rourke. 10 seconds left on the clock, and that one is going to end up Centenary ball, as a bit close to our side. A little hard to see.
That is the second time that we have seen that kind of no-look hook pass there by Josie Napoli. She has definitely kind of incorporated that into her offensive arsenal a little bit, obviously during this game, but she has been an assist weapon so far this season. Actually, as much as we highlight Maggie Robbins and her ability to assist and create points, Josie Napoli, actually the team leader in assists so far this season in terms of assists per game. So Josie has been very quietly but very surely becoming one of the best ball dealers on this team, and she's definitely continuing that here.
2 seconds left on the clock. Muller with the ball in her hands, gives it over to Napoli. Buzzer sounds. She made the three, but it was after the buzzer. So at the end of the first half, Tigers with a 10-point lead, 41-31. Centenary having a much better offensive performance in this one so far than they did against Schreiner. They lost that one 105-59, I believe. And it's just a much better offensive performance. They have already over half the points they had in that game in this first half here. So a trend for success to be certain, but you really have to be on your game against the Tigers, and we'll see how they come back in that second half.
One of the things that we mentioned, not during the open, but towards the top of the broadcast, was Trinity having to fight for the rebounds. They had really struggled with it coming into this game, of course, at around -7 rebounds per game differential. Coming into this one, they're actually tied on rebounds right now, 19 apiece between the ladies and the Tigers. So Trinity definitely not as poor as they normally do in that category, but they are doing absolutely incredible so far in all phases of the game. Offense, of course, being able to limit Centenary from scoring. They did kind of give up a little bit more points than I think a lot of us were expecting, just kind of looking at the records, looking at the team stats coming into this one. But Trinity, of course, doing a great job at scoring as well. This has been a fantastic game for the offense as you get to see the highlights from both teams over the course of this first half.
We'll be back for the second half of this game. About 13 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Take a break on the Tiger Network and let you enjoy our very own Garrett Landon and Brett Thornton on the court taking some practice shots during the halftime break. 20 minutes up, 20 minutes down, and we have 20 minutes left to go. So one of the good things about this game so far is that it's gone fairly quick. We'll see if this game ends before 8 o'clock or not, as first half went fairly smoothly despite some frequent free throw trips, all things considered. 41-31 is the score. Tigers up by double digits. Starters back out for both sides, and they are the same for both sides. So Maggie Robbins gets the inbound from Josie Napoli. King down to Timmons. Over to Robbins again. Robbins over to Jamie Reedy. Reedy working her way to the right. Now gets it in to Elaine King. King in the paint. Tough shot. And some good defense by Stokes. It's going to be Tiger ball. Welcome back to the Tiger Network. I am Reed Rosales, joined again by Caleb Reed. And we will see how this game progresses here in the first minute. Tigers certainly looking to put some points on the board. Reedy trying to find an open teammate. Gets it to Robbins. Robbins going to her left. Drives it in up the middle, and that one doesn't fall. Shot clock buzzes, so good stop by Centenary.
Robbins had to get that ball up there. Great ball IQ as well. The bench kind of called out the shot clock time just a little bit late, but she was still able to get it up and in. That shot does not fall for Centenary either. And of course, as Reed said, welcome back to the Tiger Network. Reed Rosales joining me in the booth. My name is Caleb Reed, as we are watching the start of the second half here, as Elaine King will be going to the line for two here. This foul is going to go on number 21, Kyra Stokes, the 5'11" sophomore out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Stokes is the tallest player on this team, and she now goes off in exchange for the second tallest player on this team, Amelia Bagwell, the senior out of West Monroe, Louisiana. A lot of Louisiana and Texas players on this team. In fact, only Louisiana and Texas players.
Next free throw, good for King. So 42-31. Ladies will want to cut the lead just a little bit, because it is not too close for comfort for Trinity just yet. We'll see how they attack the Tiger defense here. Barrow trying to get the pass over to Powell, but just not there. So Tiger ball off the turnover. Hasn't been a lot of turnovers for either side. 8 for Centenary, 7 for Trinity. You know, it's been a very good ball security game, which is really not the usual thing you see from Trinity. They forced St. Thomas to cough up 40 turnovers last night. So Centenary, perhaps they studied some game film, or perhaps that was just a focus in practice, but foul called there. See who they tag it to. They tag it to number 1, Layla Powell, sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas. She draws the foul, second foul of the game for her. Maggie Robbins gives it up for Josie Napoli. Napoli works away at the top of the key. At the elbow now, in the paint, gets it over to Bailey Timmons. Timmons up and in. Easy score for the Tigers. They go up by 13.
Centenary definitely needs to kind of pick the pace up if they want to have a chance. They did score over 20 points during the second quarter, which was absolutely fantastic. I think it kind of surprised both me and you whenever we were looking back at that first half of performance. But it was a very interesting, I think, second quarter for sure, for both teams, honestly. And it was kind of a little bit different from what we were expecting. And Centenary definitely needs another quarter exactly like that if they want to have a shot at contending, as that will be Josie Napoli going to the line for two there. Got knocked around by, I believe they're going to call that foul on Amaya Barrow, sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Elaine King coming on, coming off in exchange for Natalie Greenwood. Bailey Timmons giving Greenwood a little bit of advice. Got to talk with Coach Cameron Hill about Greenwood and how this team has really kind of accepted her really early on in her career as a Tiger. She came in basically in the middle of the night in Las Vegas after the team after the team had already had their first practice or their first practice of the tournament, and Coach Hill essentially said, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna go over to a local middle school and get some shots in with Natalie. If any of you guys want to come with, y'all can." And I believe that he said like 9 or 10 players went with him. A completely optional practice late at night just so that they could put shots up. Ended up having an impromptu sort of 5-on-5 scrimmage game with all the players on the team. And it just goes to show how tight of a unit this is, being able to accept somebody so early on and being so open to a new face on this team.
Now Maggie Robbins and the Tigers looking to respond after a good 3 from Amelia Bagwell. Robbins trying to take it herself. And a nice pass over to Natalie Greenwood. Smooth moves. Josie Napoli with the 3, and she sinks it. 49-38. Just when you might think Centenary is going to catch up, the Tigers pull away just a little bit more. We'll see how the ladies respond here, because 6 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock. 3 is up. That one doesn't go. Centenary trying to respond with a 3, but can't quite get it. A long touchdown pass is good. Touchdown for Jamie Reedy as she gets the bucket there. 51-38 now. Tigers break the half-century mark, and Centenary now backing up just a little bit. Of course, need to score here or else the momentum is going to be far too overwhelming in favor of the Tigers. And a great response from Amaya Barrow. So 51-40, the current score on the board right now.
After that sweet little inside play there to Jamie Reedy, she kind of pointed over to Maggie Robbins as a kind of thank you very much, as Robbins goes down and gets some points herself. Maggie Robbins breaks into the double digits now, 11 points on the day for her. It's been a great day where she has really had a pretty good streak of point-scoring performances. Of course, had not a season high, as that one is stripped, stolen away by Timmons. Timmons goes up and cannot get it to go in. Rebound there by Barrow, but as that's going to be Greenwood bats that pass, causes a little bit of chaos down low, and it's going to be Tanaja Plummer going to the line. But Coach Hill was saying in the game against Colorado, they really didn't respect Robbins as a shooter, and it's a big reason why she scored 17 points, which wasn't a season high, did score 19 in the loss to Hardin-Simmons, but that was an overtime game.
First free throw, and that one is sunk by Tanaja Plummer, 5'3" sophomore out of Kinder, Louisiana. We'll see if she can sink another one and reel the lead of the Tigers back in to just 11. She does. Now number 11, Maggie Robbins, handing it over to Napoli. Napoli down to Timmons. Bailey Timmons contending with Powell. Back up to Napoli. Napoli trying to find Reedy. And we're going to get a whistle blown there, and Centenary certainly not agreeing with the call. See who they mark it to there. We wait for James Hill to call it out. And we're going to get a stoppage of play on the floor. So 53-42. And Tanaja Plummer will be marked with the foul number 2 for her. And Centenary didn't agree with the call, but that is what the call will be. Centenary has really flipped the script from the end of that first quarter. They scored just 8, then they scored 23. Now they are still keeping up with the Tigers. Just the problem for them is they haven't been able to reel this lead back within single digits for quite a while.
Centenary has done a great job at reacting to what Trinity has been able to do, but they haven't done a good job of taking advantage and breaking away from the Tigers. And it's a big reason why this lead has remained fairly level over the last 5 minutes and 8 seconds now of this second half. But so far, Trinity doing exactly what we said they needed to do. They just needed to slow the game down, play it at the pace they want to, and not let Centenary start to run away with it a little bit.
Both teams back out on the court for personal fouls for Centenary here in the third quarter. About 5 minutes left to go. And Robbins up to Napoli. Napoli back down to Robbins. Robbins working it to her left. Hands it over to Minter. Minter gets into Greenwood. Greenwood from the top of the key. She sinks it. A little kiss off the glass. Great shot from Natalie Greenwood, the transfer from Division I, making herself known with that right there, 55-42. And if you're Centenary, having the 6'3" player just take a nice shot, you gotta just throw your hands up and say, what was I supposed to do there? As a little bit of a block on the pass attempt by Timmons. Centenary able to recover. Powell, nice little hook pass around Timmons, but foul. And it's going to be on Greenwood.
Greenwood so far this season, of course, we mentioned she hasn't had much of an impact so far this season, but 6 points so far today is actually tying for the second best in terms of points in a game that she has had. She got that twice whenever they went over to Vegas, but set a team best 8 points. Well, not team best 8 points, but set her career high as a Tiger in terms of points in a game with 8 against Shriners. That's Josie Napoli with a fantastic little play down low. Napoli continuing her work all around the court. She now has 16 points on the day and leads all scorers during this game.
Here we go with Centenary. About 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Barrow running it in. That one doesn't go. And Ellie Greenwood draws the foul on the rebound grab attempt. She will head to the line as that is personal foul number 5 for Centenary on the day. And Josie Napoli leading the SCAC in points per game and in 3-point percentage. Jamie Reedy is second in the SCAC with 3-point percentage. Josie Napoli with 43%. Jamie Reedy with 42.2 as Greenwood bricks the first free throw off of front of the iron. So some very capable scorers are these Tigers as they find themselves slowly but surely pulling away from Centenary yet again. Really needing a response here if you are Centenary College. Centenary, one of 2 Centenaries in Division III. Of course, the other one being up in New Jersey. And the little pass to Stokes. And just a beautiful shot from Stokes off of a beautiful pass. Gets them some nice points, 58-44.
Beautiful little floater there by Stokes as Robbins drives down, puts it up and in. Fantastic little physical play down low by Maggie Robbins. She may not be the biggest player on the court for Trinity or overall, but she has such a massive impact in the course of a game, as that's a nifty little sidearm pass there. Shot is up from outside, and it is good. Tanija Plummer, sophomore out of Kinder, Louisiana, getting a big 3. Her 10th point of the game. The assist given to Kyra Stokes. And Trinity with the ball yet again.
Here we go. Napoli up to Maggie Robbins now in the paint. Natalie Greenwood, that one doesn't go in, but Sky Rourke with the offensive board. Robbins tries it herself, and she gets the points and draws the foul.
I know that Maggie Robbins gets a lot of credit for that play, and I don't want to take anything away from her, but can we talk about that amazing no-look pass that Josie made down low to get the ball out to Maggie in the first place? It was incredible. I genuinely thought that was going to be going out of bounds there because Maggie wasn't, Maggie, she saw that Josie's head was kind of away from her, and so she thought, oh, I'm not going to get the ball. And then all of a sudden, the ball just went whizzing in her direction. Kind of caused a little bit of confusion there, but Josie Napoli really stepping it up, has really worked on her craft in terms of the passing game, as Kylie Minter will now be going to the line for the 1-and-1. as Trinity is now in the bonus. But Josie Napoli, she's known for her outside scoring, but she can definitely move the ball around to her teammates as well. Some very flashy passing by everybody on the Trinity team, as we're going to get another timeout here. Looks like it will be called by Centenary, a 30-second timeout, and a chance for everybody to kind of collectively catch their breaths a little bit.
Certainly a statement that rings true for both sides. And with the Tigers leading 62-47, they're shooting better, they're rebounding better, they're assisting better, and they're forcing more turnovers than Centenary. But Centenary's done a really good job. I've been very impressed with their ball security. Tigers usually a team that feast off of points off of turnovers. Only 9 in this game. Against St. Thomas, they were well over 20 points and points off turnovers. It's just been an excellent showing for Centenary in that department, because even if you drop this game, you have to be proud of at least that factor of the game.
Trinity just absolutely dominated the Celts last night, and you know, I don't want to make any of the Celts fans feel bad. I'm sure that they won't be watching this broadcast between these two schools that obviously they're rivals of, but I don't want to take anything away from St. Thomas's performance last night, but Trinity absolutely dominated them in every phase of the defensive battle, forced 40 turnovers last night, an insane amount, 49 points off of those turnovers last night, 49 of the 83 total points. And it was just absolutely incredible. Over half of their points coming off of St. Thomas turnovers. As speaking of turnovers, Minter puts one up, cannot get it to go, but that will be another turnover credited against Centenary. Make it now 10 on the day. And of course, Minter getting credited with the steal as well. Minter yet to make a field goal so far in this game, but has gone 4 of 4 from the charity stripe, as Centenary trying to move it around, move it up, and develop a little bit of a counterattack here. Shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Maggie Robbins. Of course, we've already talked about her a ton on this broadcast, but we haven't talked very much about Sky O'Rourke, who got that ball. Back out to Robbins, back down to O'Rourke, and Sky O'Rourke, a little passing it back and forth. You take it, I take it, hot potato. And Sky O'Rourke will get yet another point on the day. 6 points so far. Greenwood with the rebound as well. Trinity moving the ball around extremely well right now.
Napoli, open 3. Can't get that one to fall, but Sky O'Rourke, another offensive board. Gets it into Natalie Greenwood. Easy points for the 6'3" sophomore.
Centenary is just allowing way too much open space down low. That's about the 3rd time that Trinity has run that play in a row, and nobody has made that adjustment. They've taken the ball outside. The Centenary defense has shifted back and to the left and just opened up a massive, probably I'd say 6-7 foot zone that just the down low Trinity players are able to dominate down there, and Centenary just is not making that adjustment. I'm not entirely sure why, or maybe it's a benefit of us having this sort of higher vantage point to where we're able to see more of the court than they are from down there, but it's just a very, very strange thing that the ladies haven't been able to make that adjustment to stop overcommitting to the Trinity passes outside.
Next free throw does fall for Napoli. So, Martin coming on the court for Josie Napoli. It's been a great game for her, 16 points. So, now getting back into the swing of things are the ladies of Centenary, and Dougherty collecting the pass and trying to get it in to Kara Latson, just out of her hands, out of bounds. Tigers get the ball again. 44.4 seconds left on the clock. Kelly Minter directing the offense now, as she is the conductor of this train. Over to Martin. Martin going down. Jalen Martin can't put it in. Natalie Greenwood fighting for the ball, and she forces the jump ball. It will be Tiger ball. So a great forcing of the issue there by Greenwood, as she just uses her length to try and rip the ball out of Centenary's hands. Ivory Scott on the floor yet again. Her shot doesn't go. Martin gets the putback points. No shot clock now. Centenary. Dougherty now goes back to Barrow. Maya Barrow over to Madison Davis. Davis getting it over to Dougherty. Dougherty trying to find someone on the other side. Tanija Plummer, the intended receiver, but hit out of bounds. Centenary will still retain possession, but it's going to be some tough work to get the inbounds here. We'll see Madison Davis get the ball. She's looking for one of her teammates. She heaves it up, and she does get a completion there. It's put up. That one doesn't fall. Natalie Greenwood with the board. Tigers got to work quick. Ivory Scott puts it up just a bit too late, and that one hits off the backboard. Wouldn't have gone anyways, but after the end of 3, Tigers are up 72-47. Maybe threatening to break 100 in this one.
Trinity definitely kind of sped up the pace a little bit here. We were talking at the start, maybe they would want to slow it down, maybe they would want to kind of limit Centenary, also kind of limit themselves a little bit, but Trinity kind of did the exact opposite and stepped on the gas pedal, trying to get a bit of separation away from Centenary, and obviously it's worked. A fantastic third quarter by the Trinity Tigers, as you can see the stats at the moment, and Trinity dominating in pretty much every phase, besides of course free throw percentage, but can't really control that too much whenever you aren't getting as many opportunities as the other team. But it is just a great opportunity to look at the differences between these two teams and also kind of the limitations as well. Tigers
have really blown this one open. Talked about Centenary keeping up, but perhaps lack of a lot of depth is going to come to haunt them here. We'll see if they put the freshmen that they do have out on the court to play for most of this fourth quarter. As coming out, already seeing that Layla Powell isn't on the court in favor of Mallory Dougherty. Centenary will inbound it. And we are underway for the final quarter of basketball here in San Antonio this weekend. Centenary with the first say. Barrow drives it in, kicks it out to Dougherty. Dougherty will try to go in. And drawing the foul, we'll see who they tag it to. I'm going to tag it over to Robbins. Maggie Robbins, great defender, but sometimes her aggressive defense can get her into foul trouble. That's her 4th personal foul on the night so far, so got to be careful. Don't want to foul out, although with a lead like this, not sure how much it's going to matter in the long run. Put up, and Dougherty will receive the inbounds. No 3 attempt for Madison Davis, and they're going to tag a foul to, I believe, Elaine King this time. So Elaine King, foul for herself. That'll be her 3rd personal foul. So a couple of fouls slowing the game down early on in the fourth quarter. It's only been 20 seconds off the game clock, although we've seen quite a bit of whistles being blown. Layla Powell back in for Centenary. We'll see who she finds on the inbounds. Trying to get it on the inside, and a successful play there. Amaya Barrow taking the inbounds pass and putting it in for points. Just going to take a little bit of time here to give you an update on the SCAC. St. Thomas currently leading over Schreiner. That game, of course, at Schreiner University. 33-35, your score in that game. As this shot is up outside, Timmons does not fall. Fight for the rebound. King is able to get it. Minter with it right now. Those two teams are the only 2 teams that are playing at the moment, as Napoli takes a deep 3. What an incredible shot by Josie Napoli. That was probably about 5-6 feet out from the arc, and she nailed it.
A perfect shot there by Josie Napoli, now shot up from the corner. Mallory Dougherty responds in kind with another big three. And both of these teams trying to start to make it rain a little bit here. Trying to get the winter weather started a little bit early. Minter thought about the shot, does not take it, but just going back to the SCAC a little bit as Napoli, a splash through the middle of the net. I don't think that even thought about touching the rim there, as the net made one of the prettiest splashes you can think of, as that's going to be a turnover credited to Layla Powell. Now that we get a stoppage, I'll finally be able to continue this. These two games, Centenary at Trinity and of course St. Thomas at Shriner, are the only two games of the day for the conference. The other game that will be happening this weekend will be tomorrow with a 3:00 p.m. Central Time tip-off, and that one will be with Colorado College traveling to the University of Dallas in Richardson, Texas.
Here we go, 78-52, Tigers up by a solid 26. Maggie Robbins will be to try to find some of the Tigers, always surrounding the arc. Napoli, immediate three. She sinks it just like that, easy as pie, 81-52. And now Centenary really wanting to work fast, or maybe just try and play for pride at this point. 6-0 run for the Tigers over the last 28 seconds. They put those 6 on the board in a flash. Barrow trying to drive in, kicks it out to Davis. Davis over to Bagwell. And now the point is up. That one doesn't go. Kylie Minter on the rebound, leading the Tigers down the court. Kylie Minter gives it over to Maggie Robbins. Robbins within the arc, gets the pass over to Elaine King, and King will draw the foul. A good pass from Maggie Robbins forces the issue, and King will head to the line.
Elaine King going to be going to the line here, but Josie Napoli has just lit up from outside the arc. 7 of 8 on the day from deep, 8 of 10 overall shooting, as well as 2 of 2 for free throws. We'll give her 25 points on the day. An absolutely incredible stat line for her. However, of course, as we know, Napoli, one of this team's best scoring threats. It isn't the best that she's done so far this season. That one was a 27-point performance back in November whenever they played East Texas Baptist. But just an incredible night so far for Josie Napoli, the junior who transferred in last season. Of course, got a lot of playing time last season, kind of established herself as one of this team's leaders for this year, and has definitely proven that her spot on this team is not a fluke by any means.
3 from Minter. That one doesn't go, but the rebound by Bailey Timmons. Timmons works it back out, now drives it in. Maggie Robbins, now the conductor with the ball, gets it over to Elaine King. King to Napoli. Napoli within the arc, trying to work it in. It gets it to Elaine King. Now to Minter. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. That one won't roll in, but it is off the rim. Fight for the rebound. Minter and King being tenacious with their defense, but Centenary able to break away. And that is a nifty little pass play right there, but ultimately nothing comes of it. So good defense by the Tigers. They still maintain their 82-54 lead. It's just been an overwhelming onslaught on the offensive side of the ball for the Tigers in the second half.
Once again, in that last offensive possession for Trinity, you saw Josie Napoli, just fantastic hands, able to force that ball into traffic. A very, very flashy pass, all things considered, as Bailey Timmons will now be coming off. Sky O'Rourke coming on for her. And this entire team has done a great job of working on their passing, working on their accuracy, and it's been something that has really, really had a massive impact throughout the last couple of games, as well as obviously over the course of the season.
Centenary working it around the arc. Powell working against Minter. Gives it back out to the number 3 of Centenary's own. Shot clock goes off. Forward by Minter, and jump ball will be called. So good job by Centenary to force the issue. Trinity will be the one to inbound as the possession arrow was their way. So 82-54 still the score. Trinity has scored 100 points once this season. 5 minutes left on the table to be sure. But we'll see how this offense works with such a big lead. Although Cam Hill really plays every possession like it's meaningful, because to him, it really is. And he shows everybody in this conference the same respect he would any other team. No matter whether it be Hardin-Simmons, Centenary, St. Thomas, TLU, Southwestern, every team gets the same amount of respect from Coach Hill and this Tiger team. And they prepare for them nearly the same way every single time in terms of how seriously they take the game. Every game is serious. And Napoli sinks that one there to extend the Tiger lead to 83-54. Opportunity to make it a 30-point lead if she makes this next one. Napoli going through her motions. And a 30-point lead for the Tigers, making the largest of the night. And now with Centenary trying to drive it in, a bit of miscommunication there. But they get the ball back, 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Nearly 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Plummer working it over to Powell. Powell, deep 3, and that one will hit off the front of the iron. Just not the right angle for it. Tanisha Plummer with the ball in her hands yet again, backing it up. Minter giving her the stare down. 3 on 4, we'll see which one is greater. Plummer working in, ball is stripped away. Josie Napoli with the ball in her hands. We'll see if she gets it to O'Rourke. She tries to, but it is picked off by Amaya Barrow. Good job by Barrow, and now they try the same thing. That one doesn't go, but foul is gonna get drawn. Ellie Greenwood, doesn't look like she agrees too much with the call, but either way, that is going to be tagged to her. Third personal foul of the day for Natalie Greenwood.
That last free throw being made there by Josie Napoli ties her season high in terms of points in a game. She's done absolutely fantastic so far during this one. But just looking at the players on the court right now, and kind of a little bit of foul trouble coming about for both teams. Maggie Robbins, 4 fouls for Trinity. Amaya Bagwell, 4 fouls for Centenary as well. Also 2 players with 3 fouls. Natalie Greenwood just picked up her 3rd foul, and Madison Davis for Centenary also with another foul. So it definitely can develop into a little bit of an issue in terms of overall foul trouble for both players. And actually, just kind of looking at the numbers here, the 27 points that Josie Napoli has is actually a career high in a game as well. So she ties that mark that she set earlier on in this season. And it looks like she is still on the court. So 4:36 to go in this one, and a chance to set a new personal record for herself after this one. And it's always good to set a record. I'm sure that it feels even better to set it against a conference rival.
Centenary trying to cut the lead in any way they can. They're down by 30. Plummer at the top of the key, works it in the paint, kicks it out for Powell. Layla Powell working against Maggie Robbins, now working against Kylie Minter as well. This Tiger team just excelling on this defensive front. The 3 is put up, and it won't go. Natalie Greenwood on the board there. Nothing has really been working right for Centenary here in the second half. And Maggie Robbins trying to put up some more points for herself. A little short jumper. That one doesn't go. Board by Centenary. Tanisha Plummer trying to heave it over. She does so successfully, but a travel called there on Amaya Barrow. She had the open shot, but just too many steps without a dribble. Maggie Robbins gets the inbounds from Napoli, 84-54. Napoli and Robbins have been some very effective players for the Tigers today. And whistle blown.
Foul going to be called on number 24. That's going to be Amaya Bagwell, and that will be her 5th. Not entirely sure what happened to cause that. It was off ball, and not entirely sure what happened there, but obviously that will be the end of the day for Bagwell. Bagwell ends her day 9 points and 20 minutes played, went 3 for 8 shooting, and she will remain on the bench for the rest of this one after picking up her 5th foul. Still 2 players in foul trouble for Trinity, and it was actually both of the players involved in that last play. Natalie Greenwood, a fantastic play down low to continue her stellar day. 13 points down low, multiple Tigers now in with double-digit points during this one. It has been a very, very cohesive team effort by these Together Tigers. And as the clock continues to tick away here, under 3 minutes to go, it is looking more and more like Trinity has kind of refound their mojo that they lost during the holiday break. Natalie Greenwood, yet again, a fantastic play down low, shattering her previous record of most points with the team. And this is only getting better from here.
And now 88-54. Tigers threatening to break 90 here. Could get to 94. 94-57, potential score. That could be a nice one there. But some free throws on the way for Centenary. Now back to the bench. Maggie Robbins, Josie Napoli, and Jalen Martin will stay on the court. Just having some quick words with Coach Hill. First free throw up, and that one doesn't go. Oh. Lean back from Layla Powell in frustration. Napoli ending her day there, matching her career high in points scored with those 27. That one up, that one goes. So 88-55, 33-point lead for Trinity. They're both in the bonus, and now Natalie Greenwood bring it over to Maddie Moeller. Moeller getting it over, not quite to Kylie Minter, intercepted by Tanija Plummer. Plummer lobs it over to Powell. Powell around the arc, and Powell trying to find another lady to get it to. Hands it to Madison Davis. Davis back down to Plummer. Plummer over to Barrow. And Barrow in the paint. She's spinning around, and now it's kicked back out. Layla Powell, and the foul will be drawn, so Powell will get another opportunity to take some free throws. Minute 54 left on the clock. Both teams in the bonus, so game may slow down quite a bit here.
Just looking at the stats here for Layla Powell so far this season, shooting exactly 78% from the line. So a little bit better than 3 out of 4 over the course of her career. The exact same number, 0.780% from the charity stripe. Sunk the first one and cannot get the second one to go, but Centenary does maintain possession, and they're going to call it a kicked ball violation. Looks like it will remain with the ladies.
Centenary, another opportunity. Powell will be the ones to make the inbound. It's going to be tough to get away from a Tiger, but a nice lob over to Tanija Plummer. Clock is ticking, really just delaying the inevitable. I'm sure could have written this one off in the win column for the Tigers quite a while ago. And that one is going to be a takeaway for Minter. Good job reading that pass. And she puts it up for 3. That one doesn't go. And 2 players fall down. But either way, basketball continues to go. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Ivory Scott. So 1:22 left. And back to the line we go. Hope you get used to this scene right here because we may be getting a couple of more fouls on the way.
Second foul of the day against Scott, the freshman out of Waco, Texas. So just a little bit up the road from here, up 35. Tanija Plummer, sophomore out of Kinder, Louisiana. I've called her name a couple of times. Sinks the first free throw, and second one does not fall. Overall so far this season, Plummer shooting a bit over 60% from the line. So 1 of 2 on that attempt, 4 of 6 so far on the day.
Muller on the outside, hands it over to Scott. Harry Scott driving it in the paint, fumbles it. Nellie Greenwood, that one doesn't go. Battle for the rebound. It's going to be Tiger ball. Maya Barrow trying to get it back on the court, but instead Tigers get another chance.
With under a minute left to play here, it looks like we may finish this game up before that 8 o'clock goal that you were looking at, but it is going to be very close as that shot by Muller does not fall. Currently 7:56, I believe at the start of the second half, you said this game might be over before 8, and at this pace, I don't know. There have been a lot of stoppages, but it looks like we might be getting this one through before 8. Fingers crossed. It'll be close, but I think that it can be done. Ball taken away by Scott. Scott going to take it down. Pass over to Martin. Martin lobs it up. Left-handed, cannot get it to go. Scott puts it up, cannot get it to go. Greenwood with the rebound. Third chance opportunity for Martin. Does not fall. Still fighting for it. Greenwood again gets it. And they're going to call a travel before Trinity can put up a fourth a fourth chance shot. Meanwhile, Barrow with it right now, being defended very well by Minter.
And now Centenary trying not to cough up the ball. No shot clock, 15 seconds left. We'll see if they get the final shot off. They will take that one, and a nice 3 from Layla Powell. 88-60 now. So Kylie Minter and the Tigers will just run the clock out, and they escort the ladies out of the building. 88-60. A nice win for the Tigers as they try to begin a new win streak. And really, everything revolved around Napoli today in the scoring column, but the assists, 22 of them for the Tigers. And in a game where there weren't a lot of takeaways, they forced quite a few from the ladies near the end there. 17 total turnovers for Centenary, but a nice resounding 28-point win will certainly get your confidence up heading into next weekend.
It was a fantastic game in all phases by these Trinity Tigers. Of course, you mentioned the turnovers. Forcing the turnovers, Trinity got 16 points off of 17 turnovers by Centenary, and it's always good to be coming away with a win, but it's even better whenever you get one over a conference rival, and a big win at that. 88-60, especially after a couple of really, I mean, I don't think that it's an understatement to say some pretty heartbreaking losses that we saw over the course of the winter break. Of course, lost to Colorado College, and that really kind of sapped a lot of the momentum, but these last 2 games for Trinity have really kind of, I believe, created a new spark for this team, and in particular the offense. Of course, whenever we talked with Coach Hill, he mentioned that one of the big reasons why they lost that Colorado game was shooting, and shooting was not a problem tonight. Of course, under half in terms of both field goal and 3-point, but whenever you look at the points scored, it really isn't that big of a deal. Josie Napoli ties her career high, 27 points on the day, obviously deserving of, if we had if we had a player of the game award, she would definitely be earning it. But in addition, Maggie Robbins, 15 points. Natalie Greenwood sets a new high for her career at Trinity. 15 points on the day, went 5 for 7 from the field. Also went 5 for 7 on free throws as well. And also got a double-double as well. 15 points, 11 total rebounds. She was everywhere down low in her 18 minutes on the court. And, you know, we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it off and on. But despite being a new face on this team, she is really starting to come into her own. And a big reason why Coach Hill was so excited to be able to get her to be able to transfer in.
Running down the statistical leaders for both sides, Josie Napoli, of course, leading Trinity at points with 27. Natalie Greenwood leading the team in rebounds with 11, and Maggie Robbins with her 6 assists led the team in that category. For Centenary, Tanisha Plummer led in both points and rebounds, nearly having a double-double. 11 points and 9 rebounds to her name. And Amaya Barrow with 7 assists led the ladies there. For Centenary, next weekend they'll be back at home to take on Austin College. That's a 7:30 tip. And University of Dallas on Saturday, January 20th. That will be a 6 o'clock tip there. Meanwhile, for Trinity, be sure to join us next weekend, January 19th, 7:30 tip against Southwestern. The Pirates sail in from Georgetown. And of course, the second game of the TLU series. That will be a good one for sure. That one, a 6 o'clock tip. Meanwhile, for everyone in the control room, Caleb Reed, I am Reed Rosales. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a wonderful broadcast on every front. I thank you for showing up, and have a good night.